Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my channel and a new card making video. This is an inspiration hop with the Not Too Shabby shop for their June release. I am making a shaker card that is so tropical. And like I mentioned, this is a hop. You can use the hashtags N2SJune24 and N2SFunInTheSun to find us. There's also a link to a playlist in the description box below, plus all the information for our giveaway. So now let's jump in and take a look at the box of the month from Not Too Shabby for June 2024. When you first open the box, I love that they have this sheet with QR codes so you can immediately find inspiration and ways to play along with the Not Too Shabby team and other stampers. It's so much fun. Okay, so in the box, you're going to get a ton of things. Normally, there are 2 paper pads. This month, you have an option to add on a third, which is this tropical paper pad. Oh my goodness, I'm showing you the front and the back of all the patterns in the pad right here. Then we have our tropical hippos. These are so cute. So many different fun patterns in these papers and very tropical, very beachy vibe in this month's box. Okay, then we have our sailing paper pad. I love this one especially because I was just at the Washington State coast on the Pacific Ocean, and this is the kind of beachy vibe that's there. It's not tropical. And so I probably will use this somewhere, maybe even for scrapbooking. Oh my word. Okay, so this is the Ocean Adventure stamp set that comes in the box. You can see it has travel is my therapy. I love that sentiment especially. Here are all the images stamped out so you can see what they look like. And I will be coloring them in today's video. I'm going to show you a couple ideas. If you're not a coloring expert, that's going to make you look like maybe you are. So this is Vacay Mode. I love this one. This is the set I'm using on my shaker card today. It is so tropical and fun and lighthearted, and I love that look. So we'll be coloring this one up first. Next, we have our Aloha set. I also love this one. I'm going to show you a really simple technique for coloring with alcohol markers on these flowers. You can see in this box of the month, you're going to have a lot of different styles and papers that you can play with, and all of them are going to give you that tropical beach vacation vibe. So there's our 3 stamp sets. Now let's take a look at the 2 ephemera kits in this pack. So now you can see the ephemera kit there in the middle. It's going to go with the tropical hippos. It's called the Tropical Hippos ephemera kit. It's also going to go with one of the stamp sets that has like the little sunglasses in it. And then we have our sailing or sailing ephemera kit, and I'm going to show you all the pieces laid out really quick. If you really want to take a look at them, you can always pause the video on these screens. I know they go by kind of fast because I want to jump in to the coloring. So here we are with 2 shades of green and 2 shades of brown for our tree. So what I'm doing is taking my darkest color, I am outlining the leaf, and then any details on the leaf, like the line down the middle, I'm also tracing over that. And then I'm going to fill in the color with the center with a much lighter Copic marker. You could do this technique with colored pencils, with your water-based ink markers, like whatever you like to color with, and it's going to give you a really fun look. So I'm going to do this technique on all of the stamp sets today and just show you how quick and easy it is, but still you're going to get a really fun look. This can be done by anybody at any coloring level, and it still, I think, looks really fun. I love it. And when you want to color a lot of things and give them a, kind of a playful look, but also one that's done well, this is an easy technique to do. You don't have to do a lot of blending, although I am going to show you 2 blending ideas with these sets. So if you want to take it up a notch, stay tuned. I'm going to show you on the jellyfish and on those tropical aloha flowers. So here I'm just showing you how you can do colors that are closer together, like I did on the coconut. 2 darker browns not so far apart. And then also when you have really small images, you can take your darker and lighter colors and use them like I did on the straw. the pink that's darkest, then the pink that's lightest, and alternate them. And this is another really good example of tracing the shape with your darkest color and filling it in with your lightest color. I'm going to do that all the way around on this little inner tube. And I picked out some colors that I thought were really fun and really tropical. And I love the result. I love these bright cherry colors with a touch of brown in there. It's really tropical to me. All right, so now we have our little bikini again with the stripes. So you can see I started with the dark pink, then the light pink, the dark yellow, which is almost orange, and the lighter yellow. And just doing the stripes, I'm not doing any ink blending whatsoever. I did the same thing on the surfboard and then followed those same techniques by outlining and filling it in. Now, the final step in making this really come to life and giving it a really fun look is adding white gel pen. I really love that for adding a little extra something to your images. So you can follow along the line of the image. You can follow along the dark spot in your image that like the stamped image is provided for you, like a little line. You can also go opposite of the line, but just add that gel pen touch. I think you'll really like it. Okay, so now I've colored in this jellyfish, and you can see I have on the, I'm going to call them tentacles hanging down from the jellyfish, I did my lightest blue and my lightest pink, and I overlapped them in the middle. And then I'm going to go over that one more time, just really intensifying that blend, focusing on that center section where they overlap. Then I can come in with my darker colors. You can see I'm adding the darker teal there at the top and the darkest pink there only at the bottom. And I can soften out those colors by bringing back in my lightest and my lightest pink and my lightest turquoise color. I also use the lightest pink to add a little cheek to my jellyfish. And then of course we're going to add those white gel pen highlights. My Jelly Roll pen is a size number 8. I like this one for all uses. Sometimes when you have really tiny images, a number 5 works great. If you have really big images and want a thicker white line, you can use a number 10, but I have found that the number 8 Jelly Roll pen is like pretty universal for most all images. So there they are. Let's move on to the Aloha set and do some more ink blending. So I am doing the yellow, the lightest yellow on the tips of my flowers. And then on the base of my flowers, I'm bringing in my lightest pink and I'm blending them or coloring over each other there in the center, and where they meet and overlap, you're going to get a really light orange. It does work best if you do this 2 times, as you can see that I'm doing here. Then I'm going to go back in, but this time I'm only bringing in that brightest pink. I'm leaving the tips of the flowers that really light yellow. It's actually really like a bright yellow. And then I am blending that out, the pink part out with my lightest pink marker. And I will go over the blended part with that yellow again, just to make sure I have the look that I like. And on the leaves, I did the same exact thing. Traced the leaves with my darkest green, filled them in with my lighter green. And on the leaves that are really thin, I just went ahead and did just the darkest color. There's no ink blending there whatsoever. All right, on to the toucan. I wanted to show you how I colored out the beak and also the chest of this toucan. You can see I am doing some more ink blending with my greens and my turquoises. And that's just going to give it a fun look. It's a really small area, but you can still achieve this blended look with just these 4 colors. You're really just using 2 turquoise, 2 green, and you can blend them, and it just takes a few extra times of going over it with those same markers to get that blended out look. And then the white gel pen to complete it all for the finish. And I love adding white gel pen dots along with my lines in the center of my flowers especially, and also on things that are underwater. It kind of makes them look like they have bubbles on them. So there are my colored images. I hope that these tips have helped you, and maybe you'll try some of these looks. It's really fun to use a really simple coloring technique sometimes, especially when you want to color a bunch. So I pulled out this pad of paper that I could add on to my box of the month, and there's this kind of turquoise bubbly pattern I'm going to use for the background of my shaker. I used a rectangle frame die to cut out the center of my panel so I have a frame, and I'm just going to arrange my little images across this frame however I think they look best. I did end up switching some and I'm not sure I liked it, but I'm going to add some embellishment, and like embellishment just like covers all the things, right? So it's going to work out fine in the end. I added a window sheet to the back of my frame, and then I'm just going to set to gluing down all the things. I like liquid glue here because I'm going to end up tucking some of the things under each other, and that just gives me plenty of time to be able to rearrange, and you know, if I mess up, I can move things. And another tip I have for you: when you're gluing things down to a window sheet and you decide to move them, or you might get a little glue on them, just take like a paper towel or even a mostly dry baby wipe and kind of buff it off, at least right when it goes down, like I'm going to do right here, and it really just erases it. So it's really handy to have, you know, keep your baby wipe around even when it's dry. You can use it. It's really good for this type of application. Okay, so I've added on all my images. Now I'm adding on a sentiment. It's going to go over there on the right hand side, and it says feeling tropical. I have these pastel shell embellishments from Trinity Stamps. I was just like looking through my stash for shaker bits to go inside, and I saw these shells and I was like, oh yes, these are perfect. The colors match what I chose to color with perfectly. So I'm going to add these all around, and it really made the card. I always say love is in the details, and the love on this card has to be those cute little shells. All right, so once I did that, it was time to create the shaker. That means we need foam tape all around the back, and we need to make sure it's touching on all the ends so that none of my cute little confetti pieces will escape. Now these are kind of opaque. They're not quite translucent, and they have a iridescent finish, which I thought was perfect for this card. I also added some clear micro beads. They are going to give it a really great sound. They're going to help those confetti pieces move around. But I also added a little insurance of extra foam tape in the corners to make sure those micro beads do not escape. I'm going to add this cute shaker now to a white top folding card base. So it's 4¼ inches wide by 11 inches long, and I scored it at 5½ inches. It's the perfect size to mount my shaker on because I made it so that the cover was 5¼ inches by 4 inches. I like that white border all the way around my card front. Love it. I added a sentiment to the inside and a couple of those ephemera pieces. So I had something fun going on the inside as well, and they kind of matched the colors of my card. So that finishes off my card for today's hop, but there is more fun and more products from the June release at Not Too Shabby in this hop. We have a link for a playlist in the description box below, but remember you can use the hashtag N2SJune24 to find us, as well as N2S Fun in the Sun. So lots of ways to hop along with us. Don't forget to click the link and join our giveaway. I'll see you all again very soon with a new video right here on my channel. So feel free to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you then. Happy stamping. Bye.